Sangye chodan soge chonam la chancho pardo dani kyapso che dage jenso gibe son drola penchira sangye druparesho Sangye chodan soge chonam la chancho pardo dani kyapso che Dagi chinso gibe sonamgi Trola penchira sangye druparisho Sangye chodan sogi chonamla Chancho pardo da Dagi chishe gibe sonamgi Trola penchira sangye druparisho In the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I take refuge until enlightenment. Through the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. I'm very happy that we are here together. And that we have this so precious opportunity to dedicate few days together to understand better and to share the knowledge and the experience and to practice together self-healing. I think when I was first talking about making this program this time, I was really hoping that we could have some time. Because very often when we have just 2 days, it's always running. And there is so much to say. And I myself, I had the opportunity when I used to receive teachings in India and in Tibet. When I go to receive these teachings, whenever I go there, I never know how long it's going to take. You start the first day of teachings and then maybe it takes 1 day, maybe it takes 10 days. I never know. Depends on my own teacher how long he's going to dedicate for it, no? And sometimes there are some teachings that look very long and finally it's very short. Some other teachings that look short and finally it takes very long. But it's very different when we go to do something and we don't have to hurry. We don't have the right time to finish. We can dedicate the necessary time for every part of the process. No? So, and self-healing is so rich and so important actually. And then normally 1 day and a half is simply not enough to really do it nicely. So that's why I'm very happy that we have this time, because many of you are already doing the practice of self-healing for many years. Some of you are more newer. But the point is that not very often we have the opportunity together to go deeper into the meaning of the practice and to understand each and every part of it and so on. So what I want to do in these days together is to share with you a little bit of my understanding on the practice of self-healing, how it is, what it is, and so on. But it's very auspicious that today we started first with the Guru Puja, and then I arrived just before we do the Tsogla. And this is very nice also because traditionally, when we start the teachings, we should do what is called also the Gektor. Gektor is to take away interferences. Said, no? And when we talk about interferences, just to explain things, we are all influenced by each other. No? We are all very easily we can get influenced by the environment, by other beings that are around us, other people, and so on. And between this, when we talk about being influenced, also our mind. For example, if we are nearby a person that is very nervous, we get influenced by it. And so on. So in the other way around also, we also get influenced by people who are very peaceful. So we are influenced by those that are around us. In that way, we can also get influenced by the sorts of beings that don't have a physical body, which in our culture we tend to call them spirits, but like in Tibetan there are many different words for different types of beings and so on. And some of them can interact with us in a not a very positive way. So our mind may not be very clear. We may have some different types of, let's say, thoughts that is not 100% ours. So that's why when we need to start something that is more deep practice, like learning the Dharma during meditation and so on, normally we need to ask these other sorts of beings, please, you go away, don't stay here. That's what we do the Gektor in the beginning. And the Tsogla has the same function also. So it's a way actually to create the right environment, to take away any sort of interferences that there may be. Okay? Nothing that we should worry, because sometimes it happens that because we are not very much, we don't have so much acquaintance with this type of ideas, sometimes we are a little bit worried about, oh, spirits, what is this and how it is. Personally, I think there is nothing that we should fear in a spirit more than we should fear in a person. No? I think it's very much like they are just sentient beings like everyone else, and with their own attachments and aversions and everything else. So it's just that. So traditionally, we make in the beginning, when we have an important teaching, or when we have an important initiation, or when we start a retreat and so on, we always do in the beginning a practice to take away interferences, to create the good environment. So we request the blessings of the lineage, and then we take away the interferences. So with the Guru Puja, that's what we are doing. So it's very nice that arrived just at the right moment where we do that Tsogla. Protector Puja we still need to do, right? So we will do these two things now, before lunch. I don't want to start many things I want to say, but I keep it for later. So we conclude the part of the Guru Puja now. We dedicate so that we take away the interferences, we create the right environment in order for us to be able to concentrate well, to have our mind clear, free from distraction, inner distraction, outer distractions. That's why also I'm very happy that we can stay 2-3 days here, actually total 4 days, no? That we can stay here together, because it's very different when we just go on an evening, or we just go and come back, and then in the middle of it we have our family things, and then we have home, and then with this and that. Instead, when we are in one place, and especially when it's a place that it's not like we don't have so many distractions around. Distractions is not necessarily enjoyments, like we have many sorts of distractions, like in our house, many things that we need to do, things that we remember, and so on. So when we are in a different context, it helps us also to really be able to focus well. Okay? So we have this opportunity, and but now we just do finish this part of making the practices in order to create the right environment. So we request the blessings of all the holy beings, especially of our lineage masters, and we will do now the Tsogla, and then we'll do Protector Puja in order to create the right conditions, take away any interference that there may be. This doesn't mean that there are interferences. Okay, but just in case, we just do. But for me, most of all, I never had any, to be sincere, I believe this is my personal way of saying things. When we do something that is really good, very difficultly there are real interferences in it. When we do it with the right motivation, with the right intention, with the right connection. So for me, I never had any difficulty, but traditionally we start with this. So I think it's nice today that we start in this way together here, okay? Some years ago when I was in Tibet, I was talking to Rinpoche, he told me to write a commentary on self-healing. So I wrote all the outlines of the commentary. I never write the content, I never did, but the outlines, I did all the outlines. For me, it's more easy to explain the content than write the content. So during these days, we will follow these outlines. They are quite long, actually. So they are divided mainly first in introduction, the history of self-healing. Then we have what we call explaining the name. What is the name of self-healing and the context of the practice. Then we'll go to the actual practice, which is divided again into 3 parts. Which is, 2 parts, which is how to do the actual practice and how to do between the sessions, how to practice. For example, related to the practice of self-healing, when we eat, when we go to sleep, when we shower, when we dress up, all of this, there is also the practice during this time. And then there is also after that the conclusion. And like inside the main practice, then we have again preparation practices, preliminary practices, actual practice, conclusion practices. And like this we go on. And like in the whole introduction about the name, just to give an idea what we're going to see when we, for example, we say NgalSo Tantric self-healing. So when we say healing, what do we mean by healing? What do we heal? How do we heal? With what method do we heal? So for example, what do we heal? Body and mind. So here then we will see today after explanation of gross body, gross mind, very subtle body, very subtle mind. What is each one? 72,000 channels, chakras, winds, and all of this. All of this is insight we are going to see. So the idea is that we'll concentrate well and we're able, I'm quite sure, we can conclude all these outlines by Sunday. Okay? So now we just do the final dedications and then we stop for lunch and we come back at 3. Mi me tserwe terchen cherezi di me kempe wampo champeliang du poma Jom tse sang wedang kan chen kepe tsoge tsong kapam antak pe shabla asol wande Modele tsendele nime kuyandele shin kuncho sumge chingelo kuncho sumge ngodrupso kuncho sumge trashisho. At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness. Dutch. Mogen de drie wegen onze zegeningen schenken. Mogen zij ons helpen alle realisaties te verwerven en het pad van ons leven besproeien met variërende tekens van voorspoed. German. Bij zo'n Anfang unseres Untergangs, sagt zu dem Gast, mögen die drei Wege unsere Selige werden. Mögen sie uns helfen, alle Verwirklichungen zu erlangen und unseren Lebensweg in verschiedensten Wegen Zeit zu sein.